Exploring prophecies and reloading bloodlines, we stop the 10 count next. Let's see if I can do better than the man and start the 10 count with topic number 1, how to fulfill a prophecy as the Vision pulls double duty yet again with Paul Heyman as the true MVP of the week, masterfully setting up everything that seems to matter. First on SmackDown, he revealed the prophecy, instead of a spoiler now, that the Vision would beat Rhodes and Orton would be looking at Rhodes asking where he was at the end of the match, and that is exactly what happened after Heyman himself started the tomfoolery by distracting the ref so that Rollins could stomp Orton, leading to a Reed tsunami. And then Heyman smartly advised Rollins not to go back into the ring to take out Rhodes, but he didn't listen and ate a crossroads instead. Then Heyman got exactly what he wanted out of Reigns on Raw with an Australian street fight against the tribal thief by pointing out that his tribal elders never had to get stretchered out before. And then Heyman smartly advised Reed to not attack Reigns, but he didn't listen to him either, as Reed took 2 Superman punches for his troubles with Reigns getting the upper hand. But then Heyman pulled the strings on Rollins, eventually honestly answering all of his questions, saying that a loss to Rhodes will have him lose the locker room and lose the faith of Breakker and Reed. And when Rollins really pressed him on what he really thinks, well, he put some real seeds of doubt into Rollins, so he simply has to ask himself why he picked Rollins over Reigns. So it feels like Heyman has cast so much doubt here in Rollins that he's going to need to throw a Hail Mary pass just to keep the Vision alive. So Rhodes himself said that he can throw everything and everyone at him and it still won't be enough, and that might be true if it's just Breakker and Reed, but Heyman has a certain beast on speed dial, so that might be something that Rhodes won't be able to see. Alright, let's go to topic 2 and WWE Unreal Bloodline version, as not 1, but 2 backstage segments between Reigns and the Usos, which I have to admit is interesting because all of this big talk by the big dog about having Jay needing to be hyper-focused on the rooms he's going to walk into is pretty strange, since Reigns himself is apparently no longer able to get himself and or the Bloodline members their own locker room like he had for the past several years. But what is Reigns talking about here? As going into these ultra-secret rooms, is Jay trying to peace out and go to Hollywood like Reigns is trying to do? Well, I think the only room that Jay needs to be in is that squared circle and become the #1 contender yet again. You know, winning matches. Kind of the whole point of this wrestling thing, right? Instead, Roman is trying to play politics here like it's an episode of WWE Unreal. But no, WWE, please do not do this. Stick to the basics here. Reigns' whole thing was keeping power by winning at any cost, so Jay's whole thing now should be getting power by winning, not walking into these mysterious rooms that Reigns is speaking of. But as for where it counts inside that ring, it looks like we're headed for a triple threat #1 contenders match at Saturday night's main event once we get past Crown Jewel, where the Vision will inevitably ruin everything, leading us to War Games. So Punk seems really like he crushed Knight this week when he mimicked his retort about Knight never ever being champion. And Big Jim was the real interesting development here, as he is resorting to taking out his friendly faces to save his brother's descent into, heeldom. But yeah, he could be a little bit more mindful of his words with Reigns around now, as Reigns will quickly stab him in the front if he keeps defying his tribal chief. On to topic number 3, and carry on Kairi, as the match itself was just fine, and I know they've got even more and better matches coming if things stay on this course, but Io, Asuka, and Kairi continue to knock it out of the park, Shohei Ohtani style, every single week. And we simply haven't gotten enough of a women's feud like this that's been so good since the first few months of Rhea and Liv last year. And my favorite moment here was Io and Kairi just kind of stopping near the beginning of the match and looking like each other didn't want to do this match, until of course Asuka continued her domineering ways by yelling "Kairi," as she always does, and that sent us right back into gear. So with Kairi playing the truly conflicted family member, well, don't look now, but she is 5-1 in one-on-one singles matches since returning, and 3 of those wins are against former champions, so maybe she should get the next title shot. Topic number 4, stealing the Blue Thunder, as the US Open Challenge continues to soar far above everything else as the best part on SmackDown these days, and it was an awesome setup with The Miz coming from behind for a skull-crushing finale on Hayes to get immediate revenge on being scorned. And it was then the perfect person to answer the call in Aleister Black, and I think he's been pretty amazing since returning to the WWE, and this was definitely another match of the week contender, with Black seemingly trying to concuss Zayn with every kick and knee to the skull. And just as we were ready for a fantastic finish, well, Damian Priest took it all away from us with his distraction, so he let the hot air out of that balloon, and so Zayn's haluva kick into the Blue Thunder Bomb felt a whole lot less special this time, which is truly a bummer. Topic number 5, young O-Fenix? Oh, so a show stealer against Zayn earns a potential impending call-up right into a new and exciting tag team. Yes, please, give me that all day, every day, and even a short-lived temporary pairing of Phoenix and Evans has the potential to be a team to knock off the Wyatt Six in the near future, because these two showed some great chemistry together in just their second match together, following what seemed like it was a one-off match all the way back at the end of May. So seeing these two fly around was a spark that SmackDown truly needed, which is weird since the tag division was doing so well before. But there is simply no need to douse the flames here of the young O-Fenix, so let's just keep this new pairing going for the foreseeable future. Alright, up next is our winner of the week, and that is Zaruka. So despite going just 2-2 in all tags and not even having a traditional tag on NXT TV since their loss at Evolution in July, Zaruka simply went to a show that they're not on and asked for a tag team title shot, and at least got an impromptu match against Chelsea and Alba, who always lose already as it is, and themselves only had one traditional tag together. So that means it appeared to come out of nowhere that at the end of the match, Zaruka was your new #1 contenders, which I have to say is not so bad of a night. And it's also not bad at all that my favorite finisher in all of WWE with the Soul Snatcher really showed out here, as she will forever be the real final boss by snatching those souls. So definitely a great start for Saul and Zarya, so let's see if these ladies can become permanent fixtures. To the loser of the week, and that is Becky Lynch, because if you haven't watched my going streaking video from just last week, be sure to do it, because I literally said that Becky had the current longest winning streak of 7 straight singles wins, and Maxine made honorable mention by going 0-10-1 in her last 11 singles matches, just behind Chelsea at 0-11 in those 11 matches. And sure, Maxine looked better than usual in ring tonight, and that's not exactly saying a whole lot there now, is it? But Becky didn't really deserve to lose this one on Raw, and sure, she got up in the ref's grill a couple times, but that doesn't mean that the ref shouldn't do her job correctly, because once Maxine got back in that ring, the ref counted those last 3 counts awfully quickly that Becky didn't even have a real chance to get back into the ring on time. And yes, this is an embarrassing one for Becky, so there's nothing she can do but just go out and prove what everyone's already been saying about her. And lastly, our stats of the week. I gave you all the stats last week in Going Streaking, so today I'm pointing out that we've had 5 Raws plus SmackDowns since WrestlePalooza, and we've had a total of 8 in-ring interactions between the competitors in each of those 5 matches, and that has to be a record low, right? Because to make it worse, we have 2 Crown Jewel Championship matches, meaning that these 2 matches have 2 chances per week to meet face-to-face instead of 1, and yet Rhodes and Rollins only have 2 total, with 1 being the missed stomp into the Crossroads, And then on the women's side, one was just Stephanie walking into the ring so that the two could hold up their titles for a few seconds after Tiffy's defense. And then we also had the most boring contract signing of all time last week. It was nice of Reigns to actually show up to foil Reed's tag match a couple weeks ago before the short skirmish this week. And then Rhea couldn't even bother to show up on Raw, instead opting to do press in Australia instead of getting misted this week. And of course, we have a big old goose egg for Cena and Styles, but hey, Styles says that it doesn't need a story to be good. But in conclusion, there better be some amazing matches here to make up for this complete lack of storytelling. And it looks like I did not beat the 10 count yet again, but hey, Becky didn't beat the 10 count either, so I'll just complain that it was a quick count and not fair at all. And I already brought it up, but I gave you all the stats about the longest ongoing and broken streaks in WWE in the past year, so be sure to go right on over here and check that out. So, until the next time, I am the SportsZu, and this has been Stop the 10 Count.